Hi guys, my name's Heather and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be books that I am excited to read. So either new releases, books that are either further along in series that I've already started, or books that I've just heard a lot about, and other series that I'm excited to read. So before we jump in, I just wanted to mention that my dog has a little bit of a cough, so I apologize if you hear that in the background. Plus I have two younger dogs that are in kennels right now, so they may be moving around and making noise. So, but let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so I have about 12 books that I'm going to talk about today, and I'm going to start with the new releases. So the first book on my list is Coach by Devney Perry. I've read a lot of Devney Perry books, and I am excited to read a sports romance from her. So this is about a football star, or an old football star who's turned coach, and he's a single dad, and it looks like the hero and the heroine had dated at one point in time, and then maybe they had like a bad breakup or something. So she works in the office for the football team, and he gets hired as coach, and so they end up getting like forced back into like a working relationship, and so things go from there. So I love single dad romances, so I'm really excited to check this out. That comes out April 6th. The second book on my list is The Fiancée, Farce by Alexandra Bellefleur. That one comes out on April 18th. Now, I have not read anything by her. I've heard other people read some of her other books, and so and heard good things about them. But this one just caught my eye, and it's like a fake dating situation, I believe, and fake dating is my kryptonite. So I definitely want to check that one out. It's a sapphic romance. It starts out kind of as a lie where one of the heroines is needing to pretend that she has a girlfriend because her family is quite always asking her about it, so she's tired of it. So she pretends that the cover model of one of the books that she has read makes up the story about how she's dating this girl. And so I guess somehow the cover model finds out about it, and she comes to meet the bookstore. Tansy is the bookstore owner. And so anyways, Gemma is the cover model, and she hears about Tansy pretending that they're dating, and so she takes it one step further and announces their engagement. And so then they have to, it's like a modern day marriage of convenience, and so they end up getting married, and they have to pretend that they're in love because they have to prove to their families that it's a love match, because Tansy needs money for her bookstore, and Gemma needs a wife to meet the terms of her grandfather's will. She is going to inherit their publishing company, but she can only inherit it if she is married. So it's a modern day marriage of convenience, and sounds like an amazing time. So I'm excited to read that one. And then the next book on my list is The Duchess Takes a Husband by Harper St. George. This comes out May 23rd, and this is the fourth book in a series. It's the Gilded Age Heiresses series, and so I've read the first 3 books in this series, and sorry if you can hear my husband talking in the background. He's working from home today, but anyways, so it is about Camille. This is I think, in my opinion, the long-awaited book of the series. And so Camille, she's been throughout the rest of the books, and she was married to a duke, and the duke was old, and I believe he was abusing her, or something was not good in their marriage, but he was also really old, and he ended up passing away. And so she is now a duchess, a widowed duchess, and she meets the owner of an infamous club, and he is also an illegitimate son of an earl. So in order to make advances in his club, he strikes a deal with her, and so she's going to pretend that they're engaged as a duchess. It's going to like help his standing in society. And then for her end, he's going to show her, he's going to attempt to show her if she, prove to her that she can have a good time in bed, or to have pleasure in bed, because she did not experience that with the late Duke. So I'm really excited about this one because she has been, like I said, mentioned in all 3 of the first books, and you just feel really bad for her, and so you want her to have a happily ever after, and so I believe this is that time. So I'm really excited to read that one. All right, so the next one on my list is Reckless by Elsie Silver, which comes out June 9th. I have read the first 3 books in this series, Flawless, Heartless, and Powerless. I am really excited about this one because I believe this is Winter's book. Summer, the heroine in Flawless, the first book, this is her sister, and she had like some issues with her husband. I think it was her husband, yeah, in some of the other books, and so she is needing her happily ever after. So it's between Winter and Theo. Theo is a bull rider. He is the protege, or like the mentee of Rhett from Flawless, and he's like younger and like rowdy and seems like a fun time. So I'm guessing that he's going to like break Winter out of her shell and just be, maybe open up and be herself more. So I'm really excited about that one. Okay, and so now moving on to books that have already been released. The first one I have on my list is Hail Mary by Kandi Steiner. I read Blindside in this series. I haven't read the other 2, but I really liked Blindside, and the premise for Hail Mary sounds really good. It sounds like the hero wronged the heroine when they were younger and doesn't even like remember her, and I think it's like a forced proximity trope, so where she has to move in and be a roommate because something is wrong with her place. So anyways, I like that premise, so I'm very excited about that one. I've heard lots of good things from that one. So the next one is The Right Move by Liz Tomforde. I'm actually currently reading Mile High right now and loving it. I'm about, I think, 60% of the way through, and I'm loving it so far. So this one is about Ryan Shea, who is, what is her name? Oh my gosh. What the heck? Why can't I think of her name? Stevie. So this one is about Ryan Shea, who is Stevie's brother from Mile High, and Indy, who is one of the other flight attendants from book 1, who's Stevie's friend. And so I don't want to like read a whole lot about it yet because I don't want, if there's like any spoilers in the synopsis. This is just what I'm hearing from other booktubers. But anyway, so it's Indy ends up having to move in, I believe, with Ryan, and so it becomes like a forced proximity roommate situation, and so I'm very excited about this one. I love forced proximity. It's like one of my favorite tropes, so very excited to finish Mile High so that I can jump into that one. Okay, and so the next book I have is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. Now, I've heard a lot of good things about both this book as well as her War of the Lost Hearts series. So The Serpent and the Wings of Night is about what I've heard is like Hunger Games meets Twilight, I think. So the main character, Oraya? I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce her name, Oraya, Oraya, or Araya. So Aurea has to enter a competition. Maybe it's not a competition, but it's a legendary tournament held by the goddess of death herself. And so anyway, she ends up having to team up with make an alliance and team up with a vampire. I love vampires, and so I'm excited to jump into this one. So the next one on my list is Make-A-Wish by Helena Hunting. This is part of the Spark House series. I've read the other 2 books in this series. Trying to find the titles here. Let's see. So I've read When Sparks Fly and Starry-Eyed Love. And it's about a group of sisters that are that they own a I don't know if it's a bed and breakfast or it's like a hotel / event space or something. And so it's gone through each of the sisters, like each sister gets a book, and so the 3rd book is about the sister that I am actually most excited to read. Her name is Harley, and she seems like she's the most, like, I can't remember fully, but I think she's like the most daring and like adventurous one, but I think she's also the youngest. But anyways, so I'm really excited to read that one. It says, ever have a defining life moment you wish you could do over? Harley Spark has one. The time she almost kissed the widowed father of a toddler she nannied for. It was so bad they moved across the state and she never saw them again. So now it's like 7 years later, and the hero's moving back with his 9-year-old daughter, and they go to like an event at Spark House. So seems like maybe they reconnect. So yeah, I'm really excited to read that one, finish out. I believe this is the last one in the series. I could be wrong, but that's the last sister, so I assume this is the last one in the series. Next book on my list is Restore Me by JL Seegars. I had a bunch of credits on Audible and needed to use some up, so I was looking through at my books that I want to read list on Goodreads, and I've ran into Restore Me, and I've heard a lot of booktubers talking about this book, especially Crystal from Crystal's Bookish Life. I've heard her talk about this book, and I know she loves it. So I ended up getting that one with one of my credits, and so this one is about it's a forbidden romance between the heroine and her late husband's best friend. And so I think from what I've heard, they had like one night together or something, like before she got married, and then not like no cheating or anything, but like at some point before she met her husband. After her husband passes away sometime later, she and the best friend start to reconnect, and they've had this like hate relationship. So I really wanted to give it a try, so I'm excited about that one. And so now moving into my series list. So I have 3 for this. So the first one is the Gold Rush Ranch series by Elsie Silver. Obviously I really liked her other series, Flawless Heartless series. I can't remember what that one is called. But because I like these books so much and I like her writing, I wanted to go ahead and read the Gold Rush Ranch series and check that one out. And I've heard a lot of different booktubers talking about multiple books in that series being really good. Plus, it has a lot to do with horses, and I love horses, so I want to read that one. So then the second one I have is The Edens by Devney Perry. Again, I've read like a few other of Devney Perry's series. I like her writing. So The Edens is set in Quincy, Montana, and it's about the Edens family members. getting different books. And so the first one, Indigo Ridge, is about the heroine who becomes the chief of police for Quincy, Montana. And so she moves to the town and doesn't know anyone, and it sounds like she has like a one-night stand with one of the Edens, and then finds out after that, like they find out who each other is after that. And the Edens have a lot of influence in Quincy, and so I think they end up like butting heads, and so that's their story. I didn't want to read the synopses of any of the other books because I don't want to, you know, get any spoilers. So I only read the synopsis of Indigo Ridge. So anyways, that is one of the books that I am looking forward to reading, one of the series that I'm looking forward to reading, because I've heard a lot of good things about many of the books in this series. So that is the Edens. And the last one I have is one I already mentioned previously, called The War of Lost Hearts by Carissa Broadbent. I obviously don't know what all of the books are about, and I don't really know what this book is about. I'm just gonna read the synopsis off of Goodreads because I can't remember names and all that, because I have never read anything in this world. I know nothing about it. So anyway, okay. A former slave fighting for justice, a reclusive warrior who no longer believes it exists, and a dark magic that will entangle their fates. Ripped from a forgotten homeland as a child, Tisana learned how to survive with nothing but a sharp wit and a touch of magic. But the night she tries to buy her freedom, she barely escapes with her life. Desperate to save the best friend she left behind, Tisana journeys to the Orders, the most powerful organizations of magic wielders in the world. But to join their ranks, she must complete an apprenticeship with Maxentarius Farleone, a handsome and reclusive fire wielder who despises the Orders. The Order's intentions are cryptic, and Tisana must prove herself under the threat of looming war. But even more dangerous are her growing feelings for Maxentarius. The bloody past he wants to forget may be the key to her future, or the downfall of them both. But Tisana will stop at nothing to save those she abandoned, even if it means gambling in the Order's deadly games, even if it means sacrificing her heart, even if it means wielding death itself. So, sounds very interesting, and I've heard a lot of good things. I've heard a lot of booktubers talking about this series, so I am very excited to pick that one up, to jump into that world. Sounds like a really good one. So anyways, that is all I have for today. That is the books that I'm excited to read, and I hope you like this video and you come back to see more. Thanks, bye.